This is all for TerriLois. We are so proud of the work she's done with the Register of Deeds in Leavenworth County. We really appreciate that, and we want to get her in there for another 4 years.
More years. More years.
Now, I know if you know TerriLois at all, you know she's a worker. Yes. I mean, she is a worker. I don't know anybody that works harder. When she has a task to do, she works double time. I went to the State House 5 years ago. That was after she left the State House. And even then, representatives up there in Topeka were telling me, this lady, she outworked every representative in the House. They would have to kick her out at night because she was still there late at night. And if you were with her on her campaign 4 years ago, you know this lady really worked her rear end off. She was out walking and didn't stop until the sun was down and a couple hours after. Really a When other candidates would have their door knocking at 10 o'clock on Saturday and shut off at 2 o'clock, this lady was out at 7:30 and she didn't shut down until 9 o'clock. And the reason was she knew she was running against a 20-plus year incumbent. Now, replacing an incumbent is almost impossible. But if you get out and work like this lady did, you can do it. And she did it. The only problem this year is she doesn't have that free time anymore. She's still working for you and me at the courthouse. So we need to make sure that we get the voters out there and support her because they're coming after her. They really are. And we need to make sure we keep her there because she's done such good work for us. So, TerriLois, if you'll come up here just a second. You want to read that?
Never trust your fears. They don't know your strength.
Yes. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right.
And
thank you. Yeah, thank you, David, for opening up your home, and I so appreciate all of your support. I'm actually humbled by how many people turned out. You know how you over-invite because you figure people won't show up, and so you guys surprised us. How many people were at my fundraiser at the Heritage Center last November? Yeah, I thought we had. You guys kind of know what I have done. Over on the table, this sheet is sort of a synopsis of what we've accomplished in 3 years. And what I'd like to do tonight is just share with you more my heart. There is such a strong sense of justice in me. It's either right or it's wrong. My parents raised me, right is right and wrong is wrong. And you can't color in the shaded areas. You can't explain away something that the Lord knows is not right. And you've heard that saying, dance like nobody's watching you. That's the way I work. Nobody sees me at my office at 9:30 at night, but I literally, in 3 years, have turned in thousands of hours of overtime. And I'm not satisfied just doing well. I want to exceed expectations. I want to do better than what is expected of me. What was expected is I would go into that office and I would fall flat on my face because all of the prior workers had left. It was Sean and I, and we walked into an empty office and started figuring it out. And Sean was there with me 9:30 at night. First week was, I literally lost 7 pounds the first week. I didn't take time to eat. I just kept working. I should have kept on that diet, but I signed my emails in service to Leavenworth County. When I was in the House of Representatives, I signed them in service to Kansas. And I truly believe that this is an honor to have a position like I have. And I'm so blessed. Susan Drafts, you know, is my deputy. And she's not only my deputy, she is my sister in the Lord. And we pray together almost every single morning before 8 o'clock. And we just ask the Lord to use us for whoever walks into the door. And so, those of you who heard this story before, I'm sorry, but it is my absolute, in one nutshell, what I ask the Lord for every day. And there was a lady who, she obviously did not have education. She was demure and reticent, and when she walked in, she had the phone to her ear, and I could hear a very condescending voice that was loud enough. She didn't have it on speakerphone, and I could hear the entire conversation. And I got in front of her and I said, "Can I talk? Give me the phone. Can I talk?" And so she just handed me the phone, and I drew on my best theatrical voice and I said, "This is Register of Deeds, Mashburn. What is your problem?" And all of a sudden, this voice just kind of shrunk a little bit. Well, we need, I said, do you not know title work? There is a death certificate on file. She is the only owner. Well, but we need the deed in her name only. And so, shortening a 6-hour story down to a nutshell, I demanded that they email me the acceptance. I demanded that they gave her a 30-day extension. I wanted it in writing. And when I finished, I handed her back her phone. I said, "Okay, let me explain what's going to happen." And I just, in 3rd grade English, step by step, very slowly, asked her, "Did you understand that?" after I got finished with every step of the way. And so I said, "And you're not going to lose your house. You have a 30-day extension." And she, the whole time, she's like this. She's just standing there looking at me, talking to me. And when I said, "You're not going to lose your house," she goes, "I love you." And I just went over and hugged her. And to be the answer to somebody's prayer is my prayer. And that's what we try to do in the Register of Deeds office. I am a government agency, but I'm on the team of the county. And so we do several things that are outside of our job duty, and we try to make it easier on the other departments too. Best example I can give you is a death certificate. We started putting a cover sheet on it with the legal description on it. So the clerk and the appraiser and the treasurer, they did not have to look up the legal description, and we have surviving spouse on there if there is one. It just saves 3 other departments a lot of time and duplicating of the research effort. Like my first week in office, used to be that deeds had to have a clerk stamp. We'd walk the hard copy over to the clerk, they would stamp it and sign it individually, maybe a stack of 30, and then we'd walk them back over to our office and we'd have to re-scan in that document. I implemented an electronic clerk stamp, and 1 nanosecond later, we're on to the next document, and Fran, I don't know if you know Fran or not, she's in the clerk's office, and she said, "We have been asking for this for years, thank you for that." And my goal is to be a good witness to everybody, even if I can't use the Lord's name. I want them to feel His love, and I want them to come into our office and feel like they really were helped. They aren't like interrupting our workday. We want them to feel welcome and come in. We want to make the bridge between government and the individual a short walk, and a pleasant one. I'm running again because we started and completed the scanning project. So what we did was 50-year-old technology. Microfilm was scratchy, grainy, it was hard to read. It was very time consuming, sometimes 30 minutes to find the documents that we needed. And now then, literally every image is digitally available on the computer. Well, almost. We found 2 books that have been omitted. We've got to find those now. But we have 445,000 images that we added to the online record. So what that means is we now have 6 years ahead of us of reading each page and pulling specific information from that document and typing it into specific fields so that it's searchable by grantor, grantee, recording date, date of the document, the legal description, and so on. Back to pre-statehood, every document will be available, and my awesome staff, they are back indexing to the tune of about 200 documents a day. So we are, if they can keep that pace, we're looking at 6 years. When we get into the calligraphy, the old beautiful script writing, that'll kind of slow down to maybe 75 documents a day. Those take a lot more time to interpret and read and make sure we've got it correct. But we don't walk past a problem, we fix it. I give Susan the total credit. When we walked in, there was a series of databases that needed to be back indexed. One of them was called Fix It Date. And this was not just a bad document, this was the document from Hades. I mean, it was like legals that were 9 pages long and 20 grantors and grantees and a page missing out of that document that she would find 3 documents, 4 documents later. It was like, oh, this is too much trouble, I don't want to do this, let's just shove it in Fix It Date. And they go on, and single-handedly, it took her, what, 2 years? She wiped out like 4,000 or 6,000 documents, or how many? 6,000 documents by herself. I'd like you to give her a hand. I so appreciate your contributions to me. One mailing, I have the entire county, and one mailing is, pretty pricey. So I'm trying to accumulate the funds so that I can be able to mail out. I am door knocking. I started knocking doors last March because I do work full time, and so I'm not cutting in. It was wonderful. I had a person walk into my office, checkbook in hand. He says, "I want to give you a contribution." I said, "Come with me." And so we walked out of my office down to the break room because I just will not use my office for anything campaign-wise. So if you send me a text, if you send me an email, and you get a response, please send items of this nature to my personal email. Just know I have to do that because everything is FOIA requested, and I want to show that I know I'm not supposed to use it. I report myself to Dave Van Paris all the time and say, this happened, I sent this email, So, and one of the best compliments that I've ever received is that I went up to the county administrator, we were, talking through different things, and he said, I know when you do something, you have the county's best intent at heart. He said, I can't say that about every department head. And I was actually flabbergasted because he's not prone to compliment very often. But I thought, okay, that if they know I'm doing everything I can to improve my office every day, that's good. I don't want to abuse my position of power. I want you to know the reason my mobile phone is on my card is because you call it whenever you need me. If it's a transfer on death deed and death is imminent and it's Saturday evening, call me. I will meet you at the courthouse. Those have to be filed before the person passes. And I'm so tender to that subject because my own mother, on her deathbed, we had a notary who came to the house, and the Register of Deeds office literally stayed open for us to get the document to them. They filed it on Friday, she died on Saturday. If they would not wait it on us, then we would be looking at thousands of dollars and years of probate. So this is my way to, pay it forward. I'm so blessed. You guys, thank you so much for all the support that you've given.